Yeah, the aviation industry definitely, they locked in. They took notice of 9/11.
They did, for sure.
That was big for them.
Yeah. They had eyes on all of it. We can't make a 9/11 episode, but...
Dad?
Who is my daddy, and what does he do?
Dad?
Daddy, chill.
Dad?
This is the Dad Voice.
All right, well, today's show was, I forgot to plan it, so that's what today's show is going to be about, Phil.
So I guess you did.
I did plan it, yes. No, I didn't. I forgot to make our
You
notes.
got to be a man. You got to just pretend that you intentionally did everything.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I meant to do that.
Yeah, that was me. It was all me,
Yeah.
all right? I'm the brains behind this
No
operation.
accidents here.
So, forgetfulness, though, is a common trait of ADHD, especially like in parenting. I forget shit all the time. I have not forgotten my kid, thankfully. I have not forgotten my child. But since I forgot to make this episode, we don't really have notes. I have a few things that I've maybe like jotted down in the past 5 minutes. So
Something about having ADHD and a traumatic brain injury just hits like crack too,
I always
man. The forgetfulness.
I always forget that you also have like a genuine like, oh fuck. On my head.
Like stuff just kind of slips. It's just like loading. I'm sure you have to do it when you're editing this because I'll be mid thought and then I'll just be like,
you know what is crazy? When I'm editing, I rarely have to cut gaps between your thoughts.
Wow.
Mine, I'll have like sections like that fucking long where I'm like, and I say like or or anyways or but yeah or
that's
shit
some
like
forgetfulness placeholders.
Dude, it is, and I think I monitored the time of how much of that I cut out on one of the last episodes, and it was like a collective 4 minutes of that.
Wow.
Like, you have to
4
think
minutes
about,
of buffering.
right? Just me trying to figure it out, and people will go, "Oh, well, 4 minutes isn't that long in an hour." Yeah, but it's only 1 second increments at a time, or at most like it doesn't seem as long when you break it down and you go, oh, it was only 5 seconds. But when you're listening and it's just me going, yeah, so, yeah,
And now
that's
we're
what I was
back.
saying. Yeah.
He actually just had to cut 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He just was gone.
And,
I just started playing on my phone and
that reminds me, if you're listening, you don't see the graphics that are coming up. So when you hear the elevator music, or if you're listening to a Dad Blast, when you hear the crazy like speed metal, understand that on the video version, which
things are happening.
Yeah, which Apple Podcasts will be getting videos soon, and you'll be able to see this as well. But on the video version, there's a graphic that says we derailed too hard or we'll be right back. So when you hear that, just understand that things got so
We got into like
goofy.
a cat fight with each other.
It's surprising how we haven't fought yet.
Also, I noticed podcasts are on Netflix now. When will we be on that platform?
Are they?
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and
Oh,
submit.
no, I think it's like they pick their big ones.
But
but you can watch podcasts on there. Last Podcast on the Left and stuff. Yeah, check it out because
I'm furious.
It'll give you motivation.
I'm furious that
because some of them look about the same quality as ours, and I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. You know, I was
maybe a less wrinkly backdrop.
Yeah.
We keep forgetting to steam it.
Yeah, but that's another thing we've forgotten. But I was so concerned that, like, I mean, we're already pushing the limits. White guys in our 30s with a podcast, like, everybody's like, okay, what?
Boundary breaking.
Who hasn't done that, right? So I was worried that podcasting was a platform that had become oversaturated, but I think we still got in as it's on the rise. I think podcasts is a new way of like news and stuff. Like people just now can dial into what they want to hear about, which is really cool. So I don't think it's going anywhere, which is good, but I didn't realize that it had expanded. Like Netflix is doing it now.
White guy podcasters are like the classic rock station morning radio news show guys, because they're all basically the same, but they're still the most ubiquitous.
I know you listen to radio because it's in your trucks, right?
Yeah.
But I don't listen to radio anymore. I listen to, if I want to listen to music, I put music on, but I usually spend an hour every morning just jamming whatever I want to.
They're literally just public podcasts.
Yeah, and so then on the like trip to the gym, the trip back, you know, if my wife has to work early and I'm just kind of like warming up and I want to just kind of like listen to something, I'll put on a podcast. And I realize how I maybe you struggle with this too. But I view the world through this narrow scope of my own vision, right? So, like, I look at things...
You can't tap into the cracker hive mind like everybody else? Or like me?
The cracker hive mind, man, we have
It's like shortbread recipes.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, I hear a whisper.
Pillowcases full of doorknobs.
Taylor's version.
Yeah. So, I never think that... like, there's whole demographics of people that I just don't even... connect with or interact with on a normal basis. And that to me, I always have to like kind of like reroute my brain and go, okay, there are people that like, for me, the reason I listen to this podcast is because I make it, but this probably wouldn't have popped up on my feed for a while.
Yeah, it would have been a while for me too, because I don't have a feed, because I don't listen. It's funny, I don't listen to podcasts or consume short form content. I just crank it out like crazy and make it. It's like don't get high on your own supply.
I do need you to start listening to more podcasts just because.
I'm starting to get a list together again.
But at the same time, you know, people consume things so differently. Everybody consumes things so differently. And I just remember, like, you know, I've dated some people in the past that were just like so different than me. And I think back now and I go, wow, I really just had nothing in common.
Yeah, they were women.
That's your...
Sorry, I had to get you. I had to do one like high school joke because we weren't close enough in high school for me to bully you, so I could... Or the other way around.
Yeah.
It could have gone either way.
I don't know.
We were both on the same level.
Like,
I wasn't cool.
I did have ins with the assholes. Like, but it was because of hardcore. Yeah. Like, but I never was one of them. Like, I wasn't walking around the halls kicking kids and like talking shit.
You easily could have too.
I could have, but I was just like such a peacekeeper. And I think... no pun intended, because that's the name of my old band, whatever. I never wanted to be that guy because first off, I only came into our school in the middle of 8th grade. So I went into high school.
I think we went to different middle schools too.
Probably. I went to this
NW Middle.
Yeah.
I went to one that started with a K.
Okay. Noodles.
Yeah.
The noodle school. Yeah. All right. Nobody's going to know what the fuck that means, so it's fine. But when I went into high school, I still didn't have any friends. I met a few of the guys that I knew from the hardcore scene at shows, and I was just like kind of lumped in with this group of misfits in 8th grade, and it was really because middle school is still that kind of territory for kids where you're starting to make friends with people that are interested in the same things you are, but also a lot of it still has to do with the proximity in which you sit, like how close you sit to them in class, right?
Yeah.
But high school is where you really start to just make other friends because now you're on a constantly rotating schedule. You're in classes with different grades and shit.
And in middle school, I was friends with the cool kids, and I was in that cool kid crowd, and then I had to go to a different high school than the rest of them, and I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta start over. I was like, I don't have the mental fortitude to try this again. I'm just gonna vibe. One thing that also sometimes gets on my nerves is like the whole trope of like, oh wow, you still hang out with people from high school or whatever, but like there are plenty of people that went to high school with you who are actually genuine, cool, deep, thoughtful people. Like I don't like that whole trope where it's like, wow, you still hang out with people from high school. No, you reconnect with people from high school who you probably would have hung out then but maybe didn't. Especially when you go to a big school like we did.
This is a perfect example of that, dude. Because, like, we had Miss Adams' English class together, right? I think that was it.
Possibly. We had a science class together.
Miss Ransom, I believe.
Probably.
Too. Yeah, she was crazy. But I think we had 1 or 2 classes together, and we definitely never were like, oh, I don't like that guy. Obviously, I never would have hit you up if I would have been like, fuck that guy. But we like, joked back and forth, and we were both kind of like that passively class clown type where we would make a joke or be funny for the laughs, but then not enough to get in trouble.
Game recognized game. Yeah. I like, it's so weird, dude. In high school, this is not me retrofitting it either. I did, when I saw you, have this weird sense that we were supposed to know each other. I don't really know how to explain it.
No, there's, and this is a perfect example of why, because like, just like you get, we've never had like a real spat, okay? And it might be just because we don't spend enough time together, but like, I also, now that I'm older, I realize that the reason I used to fight with all my friends is because we were spending too much time together. And
I also just don't have spats with people too.
Right. So. But that's the other thing is now that I'm more mature, I'm like, I can just talk to you and be like, hey, what you did or said bothered me. But even then, like, we just are always kind of in sync. So, and I think that was there in high school too. We just kind of were too young and our brains weren't understanding what was happening. But like, ADHD, we kind of were like, oh, we get the same jokes.
We get the same jokes. We, think of them in the middle of the teacher saying the same sentence. We know, stuff like that. And just a general vibe of how you carry yourself. Sometimes people with ADHD just sort of stand out.
Yeah.
And maybe those like unconscious ways that you can't consciously pick up on, but you can just tell with some of their quirks. And you're like, oh, that person thinks like me.
Yeah.
Or maybe they go through some of the same stuff and... then that naturally just leads to they obviously are going to share your sense of humor too, especially if you're struggling with your own mind. You're going to find dark humor more funny and, not necessarily edgy humor, but just existential type stuff.
And it was also very much, I didn't latch on to friends like that unless I knew that they didn't have to come to my house.
Yeah.
And because I was so... My home life, I've talked about it ad nauseum. Like, you can check out some of our older episodes. I think the one where I really got into some of the details was the Going No Contact episode. My home life was rough, and so bringing friends home was just not something I wanted to do.
Yeah, fair.
And it,
dude, the only thing I'm mad that we missed out on is we would have absolutely fucking murdered in Halo together.
Yeah, that is a bummer because I would have.
And also, it just would have been perfect because me and my two other best friends who I literally just played Halo with all day, every day, we would have had 4 of us, and we could have.
Hey.
We still can. Wait.
It's all coming back out. It's going to be on PlayStation.
Do you still own an Xbox?
I have PlayStation, and they're putting it out on PlayStation.
Oh, shit.
And we can cross-platform. I do want to get an Xbox, but I'm not having that fight with my wife right now. She's going to be like, you have a fucking PC.
We need to build this up big so we can get to a place that's sooner where we can start a gaming streaming side thing too.
Yeah, well, that was kind of like we've talked about getting into the streaming space, and Dad's playing.
Gotta lock this down first, though.
Yeah,
that's one of those things that you branch out into after you make a full-time living doing this.
Dad's playing Halo, though, would definitely.
I'd love to play with other dads too.
Yeah, dude, and
I played with people's dads growing up too. Like you would be playing with some guy who was just crushing it,
dude.
That's one of my favorite like tropes or memes or whatever. Is like growing up, you would be playing with some dude who had kids and was off work and was just grinding it out, and you didn't even realize he had his microphone in, but he did. He was just decompressing after work, and then all of a sudden at the end of the game, this guy crushes everything. You'd be like, hey, appreciate the good game, guys. You're good kids. It's something like that. I love that.
And I'm gonna rest in peace, my man Arnold, because one of my best friends, her dad was huge for us getting into Halo, and he was fucking insane at it. Like, he's this old Filipino guy that just like, he kind of had first off, dude used to be like a bodybuilder and was in the United States Air Force, and you could never tell. But yeah, so Arnold was his name, and he was just this, he wasn't super tall or anything, and you could never tell that he was a bodybuilder, but like, dude was a fucking genius. He did IT for Channel 2 News. And he would come and he would play Halo, and we would pester the fuck out of him to get on. And every once in a while he would get on with us and just annihilate us. Like
he logs in, you have a sticky grenade already in your face, and he's like, you asked for this.
But he would also be like, oh, this is why you didn't do so good. And then, or, you know, we'd be in the lobby and he'd be with us and we'd be like talking shit and he'd be like, hey, you can't say that.
He's like open up in a can of whoop ass, but also being a dad at the same time still.
And I think that was like his main, like,
that's my goal.
This is why I can do it, because I'm being a dad right now. But he's killer. He passed away well, God, it's been a few years now, but he passed away a few years ago.
Bungie legend.
Yeah.
But
and
R.I.P. to him.
R.I.P. Arnold, the man. But no, I've always wanted to be, and like I get to play video games with my kid.
I've been starting to get my daughter into video games so that I have something else to do with her, because dude, that's all I like doing growing up all the time. And also so I can look cool as shit to her friends and whoop their asses in older games.
And that'll also be your leveler for whatever partner she brings home.
If I played Fortnite with my daughter and her friends, they would be like, do you think your dad needs to get like checked for that accident he had a couple years ago? Because he's just like, something's not clicking.
He's over in the corner building a house, like an actual house.
It's like I forgot how the joysticks work, and it's like when you give your mom the controller and just staring up. That one time I let my mom play Halo, it was just up, looking up at the sky, and she was like, "Where's the Earth?"
Yeah, I don't necessarily get some of the newer games. I am going to try Marathon. A very close friend of mine said he got it. He said he would help me through it. So
I want to try Crimson Desert.
I do too.
If it's on Game Pass.
Yeah,
everything is dependent on if it's on Game Pass for me, because I'm like, dude, this is my monthly video game budget here.
Dude, PlayStation gives you free games every month, and that's what we get. You know.
And I'll usually every year I'll pay for the full version of one mobile game.
Yeah, one mobile game.
Yeah. I'll pay for the full version of one mobile game a year. The ad-free version? Yeah. And then I'll just kind of grind that out for a year. I grinded out Genshin Impact for... This episode's about forgetfulness. It's meta. We're forgetting what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're cooking.
Yeah,
dude, I was real big into Genshin Impact for a solid couple years, and I had to buy like multiple backup batteries and stuff because I would just sit on my couch and grind it out, and I was like, what am I doing? And then it finally came out for the Xbox when I lost interest.
That does kind of play for me into the forgetfulness though, because I can't tell you how many subscriptions I've forgotten. I had like Raid Shadow Legends. I don't need it anymore, but there was like a pass you could get, and it would give you extra auto battles and extra energy at the end of, you know, every day, because there's a cap every day, and then it would just expand it a little bit more, and it gives you an experience boost. But like now I'm endgame. Like my account doesn't really need a ton. So for me, I was like, oh, fuck, why am I still paying for this? Like I don't need this. This was cool. And I did it when I had, before the economy had gotten as harsh as it is, and $10 a month wasn't really anything that I noticed.
Yeah, that wasn't horrible.
But now I had to cancel it the other day because I was like, dude, how long have I been fucking doing this? You know what I mean?
Dude, we just went back to the lowest Netflix plan, the $7.99 one. I'm like, babe, that's what, $4 a TV? There we go.
Yeah.
We get two.
I can't do the ads version of Netflix because that's where Oliver watches most of his programs, and if a fucking ad comes on, he freaks out. He's like, the show's off. And I'm like, no, dude, it's just an ad. Like,
yeah, ads are also bad for me because that's the point when I subconsciously just pick up my phone and start.
Because we're used to commercial breaks where it was a considerable amount of time.
Which I would assume is why they now on YouTube have the ads where you can send it to your phone. Because they're like, well, I already know you're going to be on that shit as soon as we turn on. So maybe on the off chance they rub the Roku remote and hit send to phone, I can pop up there too. Yeah. Like, surprise, bitch.
Gotcha. Surprise, motherfucker. I've done that 1,000 times though with like different subscriptions and shit like that, where I subscribed to Discord Nitro one time for, I think it was so I could do something with streaming. And I forgot to unsubscribe. And I, for like 6 months, paid for Nitro. And I was like, what the fuck? Why am I doing this? The one subscription I love.
You're dipping into some of our old episodes just about buying all the shit for a hobby. And
and forgetfulness.
The stuff doesn't make the man in the hobby. The hobby Or the man makes the hobby.
Yeah, and that does play into fucking forgetfulness. I bought shit for hobbies and forgot what the hobby was.
Yeah.
Like, whoops.
I know. I put together a Raspberry Pi and built a computer, and then I was like, the fuck am I going to do with this? So then I just donated it all to Goodwill.
Yeah. I remember, in school, I started learning how to build firewalls on Raspberry Pis, because you can build a very small firewall when I say firewall, it's a very logical thing. There's hard firewalls, which are a physical piece of equipment, and that's what I was building, but the actual process is logical, it's software. And so you could put a good home firewall in one, and then I just had a Raspberry Pi just fucking sitting there half configured, and I was like, I don't even like Linux, I'm not doing this. Yeah. Fuck no. And so now there's a Raspberry Pi in my house somewhere that I don't know where it's at.
You can turn it into you can power it with AI and have it create a contraption to suck you from the back.
Yeah, the back sucker 5000. Oh, the Raspberry Pis now are crazy, though. They do have AI integration and super fancy chipsets and stuff. It's whatever. But yeah,
shit, now we're both going to go buy one and be like, oh, yeah, they are better now.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem. Because, I've heard of people building, Plex servers on Raspberry Pis and shit now. So, again, going to be one of those, throw some money at it, forget it exists, and then months later go, what the fuck was I doing with this? And now I have two.
Why is the FBI outside my house?
Cash Patel's trying to figure out where you're at.
He's like,
I don't know, man. This was just
looking at me with them dead eyes.
Or them super alive eyes.
Yeah. We just took a 30-minute pause.
Yeah, see?
We forgot we had a podcast. We thought we were just hanging out.
I'm going to definitely put the picture there. I don't know, man. I just sometimes and I have so much shit going on all the time. When I get home, I'm finally taking my Security Plus test at the end of the week. I'm probably going to fail. Thankfully, I have test insurance, so it is what it is. But I have to study, and I have to put a lot of time into studying today. And
you got to do it. This is real.
I also have to edit one of my kids' videos so that it goes to his YouTube channel because we're going to be behind now.
It's Sunday Fun Day.
It is Sunday Fun Day.
On Louverse.
On the Louverse YouTube channel, Louverse Gaming. And so I have to go edit that. I really need to get some work done on our next episode. I have to study. And so it's easy for me to forget shit because I'm most of the time just juggling 8,000 things.
Yeah.
I genuinely hope I don't fail this test. I want to just get it the fuck out of the way.
Me too, dude. Your family does too.
Yeah, but I need to do a million other things, and my wife is working all weekend, and it's fuck. All right.
Life becomes a lot, and you gotta step back and be like, okay, priorities, what do I need to remember?
Right.
Which is already hard, because sitting there and being like, what do I need to remember? Nothing comes up.
Yeah, and you're like, man, I know I'm forgetting 1,000 things. I just wish I could remember what I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
And that it really does kind of kick my ass, especially if it's been a long week, and then that's what happened here. If I'm being honest with you, we got to the end of the week. I've been studying all week. I've been nervous as fuck about this test. Again, I'm probably going to fail the first time. I have test insurance, but I need to go ahead and get it out of the way. And
you're basically paying for a practice test.
Yeah, and then the real deal, because I only get one retest, and I'm not spending another $400 fucking on this thing.
Yeah, so that's a lot of money.
And my wife is going to fucking kill me because we're relying on me getting that $400 refunded to me from my company so that I can put it towards a vacation.
But you have to pass the test.
I have to pass the test to get the refund. So it's just a big fucking shitstorm for me. But the problem is my most effective study guide I've looked for on audiobook, and I can't get it on audio. So that's kind of cramping my style here. But either way, it piled up this week. I've got a billion things on my plate, and I just realized last night, I forgot the laptop last night. We had some problems with that. I got here, realized I didn't even have an episode planned for tomorrow, and I was trying to. We tried to jerry rig the thing, which I think I figured.
Dude, it almost worked. That was impressive.
I think I figured out why it didn't, and next time, if we're ever in that pickle again, I know what to do. But the problem is, like, there's just so much always going on, and I forget. I don't think that there's really a solution for that shit. You just get overwhelmed. And you forget, write shit down. That's the best solution.
Yeah, writing shit down. And I found that writing stuff in my notes app works sometimes, but also I'll just keep writing in the same note over and over again instead of starting a new one, and everything just gets lost in there.
Yeah, yeah. I can't tell you how many like grocery lists on top of movie recommendations. On top of...
Yeah, dude, I just write jokes constantly, but then it'll be in between very important, like, work stuff and, like, people's private information and shit.
Yeah. I've got, like, lyrics peppered in with, like, comedy bits, and I'm like, tear down the walls. So what's up with airplanes? And it's all about 9/11. Anyways, yeah, so...
That was an airplane event.
Yeah, it was an
big time aviation event in history.
Huge for aviation. Yeah. So, I just write shit down.
Yeah, the aviation industry definitely they locked in. They took notice of 9/11.
They did. For sure.
That was big for them.
Yeah, they had eyes on all of it, and a field in Pennsylvania. So 9/11. We can't make a 9/11 episode, but the beauty of this is we can really, like, forgetting to make plans. We can talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about, which we have. I apologize, I guess, for not having a more solid content to deliver, but like I think sometimes it's good to catch us like this.
No, don't apologize. We work very hard at this. People are going to get what they fucking get.
That's right.
You're going to get what you get, and the few that stay along are going to like it.
That's right. You're going to fucking like it. Which, speaking of, obviously, if you haven't pieced it together, if you're watching and you're this deep in, because we're about 30 minutes in at this point, if your dad, you got ADHD, like, that's what we do here. We're those people. But, like, this isn't just for ADHD people or dads with ADHD or just dads. It's for everybody. If you a spouse of someone with ADHD, whatever. If you just like to hear two guys with funny brains ramble, you found us.
Yeah, most of the time the ADHD thoughts come out as comedy, so it's pretty convenient.
Yeah, the delivery is
way to flip that.
Pretty comical, but I don't think that we should necessarily limit who we appeal to, but we have a niche, and that's what we're going to talk about. But I hope that other people benefit from it too, not just people who are like, I'm exactly like those guys, even though there's more than I realize.
Yeah, I don't even like myself, so I don't know how I feel about that.
How the fuck you... Yeah, exactly. That's a strong point, because I don't like myself either.
That's a good thought experiment. Like, if you were put into a room full of other yous, how do you think everyone would leave that session?
Pissed.
Yeah.
Frustrated.
Sexually satisfied?
Yeah, probably.
And pissed and frustrated?
Yeah, pissed, frustrated, sexually satisfied, but like the kind where you're like, it was good, but was
I
it
feel
worth
like
it?
All my other clones would also have the like main character syndrome thing, and we would all just be one-upping each other's jokes, and then it would just become really cringe.
And in reality, a normal person would be like, oh, I would utilize those clones to get shit done.
Dude, that's the funniest fucking image to me right now is just you in a room full of other yous with cameras all around just fucking fighting all of them. Or you're in a parking lot fighting another you, and people are watching. They're like, "Is that guy fighting himself?"
And then three more me come out of
they come out of the dumpster and shit.
They're just like, "Holy shit! What is happening?"
Out of nowhere, they're like seagulls flocking to a Wendy's parking lot. What? They're just piling on that guy.
I feel like,
why would you create us? You already didn't like living.
I feel like I would be like, hang on, let's make the most of this. And then we would spend 3 days trying to figure out which me would be best for which task. And then at the end of it, we'd be so fed up with with each other that we'd be like, I'm not doing any of this. I'm not doing shit.
All my clones coordinated in the background, the like West Side Story theme, and we're all just crossing at each other in like ABC store parking lot.
People seeing this are like, this is the weirdest, like, it's a fever dream, and it's just two guys, and then all of a sudden we just all turn and in unison go, listen to the Dad Voice podcast, and then the clones dissolve.
We're bringing back flash mobs, but it's just us fading ourselves.
War mobs.
just ass beating mobs.
That's the other thing. The government would be in on that. They'd be like, all right, you figured out how to clone yourself. Now we got to hunt down your clones and make sure that knowledge doesn't get out. The Strait of Hormuz. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Handle that. Gas is
we're going to go take Karg Island. 6 of us.
The Salvia guy is like, not again!
He's like, we're getting towards the end of the episode. He's like, oh. He's like, block channel.
He's still losing his mind. There's empty bottles of Robitussin beside him. He's
clink, 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 clink.
Oh yeah, see, this is what happens when you forget, though. But at the same time, I feel like sometimes that's I think that's why we started the podcast anyways, so we could get this stupid shit out of our heads all the time.
Yeah. I think a solution to some of the forgetfulness is something that I myself and you probably already do, which is just having routines.
Yeah.
Like I park in the same quadrant of the parking lot at work every single day because I'll inevitably forget where my car is. But if I'm at least walking in the general direction of where I always am, I'll bump into it eventually.
Yeah. I mean, routine is absolutely vital for me. That's why, like, if a perfect example, we had to go out of town an hour and 45 minutes away this week on Thursday, and I had to handle some stuff in Fayetteville, North Carolina, which, by the way, if you ever thought about going to Fayetteville, just don't. It's awful. There's nothing to do there. We did find a cool nature park, but that was like the only thing. Either way, I didn't get to go to the gym that morning because we had to be out the door by like 5:30, and I had the kids like dragging them out. They're like tired and like half awake, but they were cool about it. And so we're getting out of the house. I didn't get to go to the gym. Didn't have my normal morning routine, and the whole day just felt off. And then the next day I was able to like saddle back up into my routine. And even then, like I was still recovering from being off the day before, like off routine. And so like I got to the gym a little bit later and it threw everything off. And so I went to the gym again yesterday morning, and it feels now like it's kind of balanced out a little bit. But like, man, if my routine gets thrown off, that's when shit starts to fall apart, which is probably what led to this.
Yeah.
Because I'm so married to routine and things have to go like Saturdays and Sundays. I do one of my meal prep meals on Saturday. I do one of my meal prep meals on Sunday, and then I package them up, put them in, save the recipe and the macros in my little app. Like it's all very fluid. And, then I do editing.
Yeah, you knock that routine off, then all of a sudden you're getting fast food because you're off schedule, stuff like that.
Dude, and I'll tell you right now, fast food is the gains killer because it's all just empty calories. Like and I've had fast food more than I'd like to admit this week.
I still need to try the Big Arch.
Oh yeah,
just for the hell of it.
I might try that too because it's beef, so it'll be protein. It'll be fine. But the CEO of McDonald's seems to love it.
Yeah. You eat pussy like that?
Damn. But yeah, and I also like, I don't know, man. Like it just threw my whole week off. And now I do have today to reset. And today will be my reset and it will be good for me. But like my appearance is a little bit disheveled. Like I'm kind of like, I don't know. I feel scruffy and like just out of it. And so
I wish I had hair that could be disheveled.
I mean,
good problems.
As soon as this shit starts falling out, I'm going to join you as the Bald Boys Club.
That'd be fun.
This will be Bald Dad's voice.
We'll definitely look like neo-Nazis or something.
Yeah, speaking of neo-Nazis, once again, Matt Honeycutt from Kubla Khan's affiliation with a well-known Nazi, and people are like, I've had people already in the comments of the current post circulating like, he's not a Nazi, he's just an anti-Zionist. And then I just show them pictures of him with like a Nazi Totenkopf.
They're like, yeah, he's anti-Zionist too.
Swastikas and shit. And
they're like, yeah, that stuff is very anti-Zionist.
Yeah, and him making posts about how Hitler was right and shit. And
that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, so I mean,
doesn't get much more.
The dude's not shy about it. Like, he started a clothing line and it has a ton of white supremacist imagery on it, like the Totenkopf, the little cross in the circle. I can't remember what that's called, but like lightning bolts. Like, dude's a fucking Nazi. Him and Kanye
can collab.
Yeah, dude's a fucking Nazi. It is what it is. So anyways, that was just a thought that popped into my head because it's making its rounds again. And Matt Honeycutt has still not come out and said anything against this guy. So other than
I don't think he will.
I don't think so either. Either way, I mean, if that doesn't bother you, support Kublai Khan, I guess. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's none of my business. I just don't want to know you. So there's that. Anyways, the Nazi thing got me derailed. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel out of it all week. You know, it's just a fucking mess.
It's almost like because you're used to seeing like certain parts of your house and room at the same time every day. So then when you get off schedule of your routine, everything looks a little different too, and it kind of derealizes you and takes you out of it. You're like, I'm not used to driving on this side of the town this time of day. Like, it's bright. Like, what in the world?
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
And we're already dealing with the different sun schedule and stuff, which is I like it better this way.
Yeah, it's funny. It sounded like it was like the first time America's ever done daylight savings. You're like, we're just dealing with this new sun schedule they dropped on us.
The new sun
out of nowhere.
There's a whole new one in the sky. I don't know where it's coming from, but yeah, I mean, daylight savings always throws me off, but normally not this aggressively. Again, I think it was like my middle of the week having to go and do something else, but I really need to get my shit together before the end of the week so that I can go through this and be able to successfully take this test and hopefully pass. It's still up in the air. If you're watching, actually, this will come out after I've taken the test, so I'll know if I passed or failed. Yeah, I was going to say,
don't forget to take the test.
Yeah.
Don't forget you got to go handle business.
My company actually pays me to go take it, so like I get to stay on the clock and take it. And if I pass, I'm going to be like, all right, I'm going to just take the rest of the day. If I don't pass, I'm going to be like,
I'm honing my skills.
I'm coming back to work today. Either way, I think, yeah, honestly, because of how unplanned this was, I think we've kind of hit this thread. Like you said it off camera, but you said that we're starting to unravel, and I think you're right. So I think it's about time to wrap this thing up. But listen, not all episodes are like this. If this is your first episode, I definitely recommend checking out some other episodes from the main line. We also have Dad Blast, where we just kind of get loose with it and go crazy. But most of the time, there are focused episodes, and this is
one of them generally.
Yeah,
for the most part.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with us kind of getting loosey goosey with it, but I do think that we tend to get more content out of episodes that we've spread out a little bit more and like kind of paced and made notes on. So this is going to be a shorter episode, but if you didn't hate it and you're still here hanging out with us, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you can keep up. If you're listening, appreciate it as always. If you like the episode, make sure to leave a review. And personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing episodes like this because I think that sometimes it's good to show. I don't know.
It's also a free country.
It is a free country, but I just get sick to death of seeing everybody online being on it 100% of the time. I'm fucking tired of seeing that. People forget shit.
No, this is real shit. We're both coming off of big weeks.
Yeah. And the weeks are just going to get bigger. I really hope I do pass this test, though, because I really want to be done with that. Like, that will take so much off of my plate. And I don't plan on taking another cert test for a while. I'm going to give myself a mental break here. So that's
like growing up when people would be like, Christ gives his toughest battles to his toughest warriors. I'd be like, who, me?
Yeah, not me. No, thank you. You can have that, but give it to the other guy.
Keep that shit.
Yeah, like and subscribe. If you want Dadvice, which I've forgotten to talk about this, I think in the last episode as well, I forgot to mention this, but if you want Dadvice, which is where you just send in an email and you say, hey, I want you to talk about this, or I have a question about this, Shoot us an email at thedadvoicepod@gmail.com, subject line dadvice, and we will, if it's a good enough question or a good enough topic, we'll make a whole episode about it. That's what we do. So just make sure to shoot us a message. Make sure that you put that you want to remain anonymous if that's something you want, but feel free to send us whatever, and we will we'll shout you out. You'll have a chance to be featured on the episode if you don't want to remain anonymous. So it is what it is. I appreciate everybody hanging in there with us.
Do your thing. We'll be back roaring next week.
Comment down below what you forgot this week, because I need to feel like it's not just me.
They don't remember.
They don't remember. And if you don't remember what you forgot, that's fine too. Comment that.
Comment that you don't remember anything that's happened for the past week.
That's right. If you have forgotten everything that happens for the last week, you might need to see a doctor.
Yeah, that too.
Amnesia or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll see you guys next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You're not my dad! We did it, Dad!
Who is my daddy?